Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. Today's subject is all about Scottish police rider training and what it takes to be the best. In this video we will see what happens when I stumble across a group of 4 police riders and have the pleasure and privilege to ride with them and also to see how it's done. And if you are new to this channel, then welcome, and please feel free to view some of my other videos which are often interlinked for your pleasure. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as I would appreciate that ever so much. So let's get to it. On this particular day I was about to pull out of a junction to turn left when 4 yellow clad riders came past from my right in flying formation. So as it appeared we were riding in the same direction, and it would give me the privileged opportunity to follow along and see how they ride. So here we are in this video. I'll just show you that we pick up the riders, and it can be seen that there are 2 groups of 2. Each group has a candidate rider under instruction, followed by their own individual instructor. And I'll apologise at this point for the quality of the picture, as on this day I was using a different camera than normal, but I'll fill in the gaps where needed to make it more clear. But in this case, getting back to the video, in this scene we can see that the lead 2 riders have taken an opportunity to overtake a lorry ahead. And prior to this, if we take a freeze frame and take in the surroundings, we can begin to identify what the lead rider would have considered prior to overtaking whilst under observation from his instructor. So we can see, having just passed this lay-by on the left side, we can see the continuation of a hazard line marked centrally within the centre of the road. As always, whenever there are any road markings or signs, it is your responsibility to identify them and fully understand their meaning and purpose, which without this knowledge can lead to problems and accidents. In this situation you can ask, is the hazard marking suggesting the lay-by that we just passed? Or was the hazard maybe the brow of the hill ahead? And what about the things that you can't see that may be just over the brow of the hill? Also bear in mind the lorry ahead being followed by the riders may be travelling slower up the hill, but will pick up speed across the top and over the other side. But why else are the hazard markings there? Could it be the signpost to the right that we see between the vehicles is indicating an entrance on the left, marked by the small white post with its red cap? Or could it be further up on the right a copse of trees potentially hiding a property with an entrance? All these things must be identified before any overtake can be considered. And remember, with any potential overtake there needs to be a plan B in place for the what ifs before the overtake can commence. I have often said, only when you've eliminated all the reasons not to overtake can an overtake be safe enough to be considered. To have a IPSCA checklist, which often gets muddled by some, is not good enough to protect you from all potential hazards. You have the responsibility to observe clearly for your own safety. Trying to remember what somebody wrote is not the best way to ride. But in this example of a police overtake, the first rider has waited to pass the entrance of a house which was hidden by the cops on the right hand side, which wasn't visible earlier. And with clear visibility of the road ahead on both sides of the road, less what is immediately in front of the truck, the rider decides to overtake. At this point, you could ask, where is the rider's plan B? What if, after committing to the overtake, the lorry has a cyclist to deal with which wasn't seen because of the brow of the hill? In an earlier frame you can see the lead bike attempting to look down the left side of the lorry before moving to the offside prior to committing to the overtake, which is a good idea. But this was done on the incline of the hill approaching the brow and not over the brow of the hill, so the overtake zone immediately in front of the lorry had not been fully cleared. What could the rider do if the lorry moved across the white line in a bid to avoid a cyclist? And just to highlight what should be going through the first candidate's mind from reading their police issued Roadcraft manual, the Police Rider's Handbook on page 207, under Overtaking Moving Vehicles, in the blue box it states, whenever you consider overtaking, always ask yourself, bullet point 1, do I need to? It could be argued that unless the vehicle in front is stationary, you might never need to overtake, unless, of course, it is necessary. And to qualify that, you need to speak to Reg Local and username Kate, because they are, of course, the experts. If we turn to page 215 under the continuation of stage 1, the following position, in the blue box it states at line 5 to ask yourself, is or are the driver or drivers ahead likely to overtake? This is where possibly a second look down the near side of the truck after the brow of the hill would have confirmed any likelihood of a cyclist present in front of the lorry. And this page finally puts the boot in by stating at the bottom, remember that good observation alone isn't enough. Your safety depends on correctly interpreting what you can see. You could bolster up this comment and say, think about what you can't see and might expect could happen, i.e. an unseen cyclist dressed in black, music pods in the ears, head down, in front of the truck. No rider can expect any road user to behave in a sensible manner these days, and should always prepare to expect the unexpected. At this point, the rider has committed and gone, followed by the instructor, who for them deems the overtake is on, regardless of not clearing the near side in front of the lorry. Point to note, the hazard markings centrally within the road are still continuing, so whilst overtaking, the question continues as to why. Is it because of the descent of the road, or maybe the bend ahead? From the moment that the lead rider pulled out, they would have been able to see the 2 hazard warning triangles at the bottom of the hill, even though the detail of the sign might not be so clear at this point. A hazard warning triangle is there as a warning. Is it here where the rider would be actively searching for more information to join the dots, to make sense of what you can and what you cannot see? However, the first 2 riders continue, leaving the second 2 behind the truck, followed by myself. And it was at this point the 4th rider, a police instructor, became aware that they themselves were being followed. As we entered a speed reduction zone, potentially a build-up area, we can now sit back and relax and watch the experts on how they show that their kung fu is still strong. But I think what I will do is I will summarize this short video, and I'll make a second video to show what happens with these 2 police riders in front, before making a final 3rd video when I decide to overtake all 4 riders in one go. So let's just summarize. Overtaking. When riding in a group, you must always ride for yourself. At no point should you put yourself in any position of danger, especially when attempting to overtake. Overtaking is one of the main areas that a rider often gets wrong, in particular overtaking before bends, especially when being trained by the likes of IM Road Smart. Too much emphasis by this company is placed upon what they call making best progress, i.e. overtaking, when overtaking has nothing to do with making best progress over the period of a journey. Just take a look at my username Kate critique video about her in-town overtake, which broke all the rules of the highway code, and an ex-cop examiner, aka Reg Local, gives her a first pass for the IM, being the highest award offered. It highlights how people like Reg Local just do not know what he's talking about, and everyone who follows him is just as ignorant. two things that I am, and it will appear in my next video, that the police get wrong is overtaking. The final point in this video is about positioning on the road. A rider should always position for safety first and any additional advantage second. And you will see that in my next video, where the police rider constantly misunderstands what IPSCA is and how to apply it, and puts on a lazy show of applying the system whilst under observation by the instructor just to my front. And as always, remember, think safe, ride safe, and I hope to see you not riding like a candidate police officer next time out on the roads. Bye for now.